You see it everywhere, right? On pretty much every cafe menu board in the entire world. But let's be honest, beyond the steamed milk and that pretty art on top, what is a latte really? Well, today we're going to deconstruct this creamy classic and find out what's actually in your cup. You might even order one every single day. But do you really know what makes a latte? What separates it from, its famous cousin, the cappuccino? What's the story behind it? Well, stick around because we are about to break it all down. Okay, let's dive right in. What are the essential building blocks of a true latte? We're going to analyze every single layer, from the bottom to the top. So, at its heart, a latte is a pretty simple harmony of just three things. You've got a shot of rich, delicious espresso, a very generous pour of steamed milk, and then a delicate layer of something called microfoam. Now that's just milk steamed to this perfect, silky, velvety texture with these tiny, uniform bubbles. And that is what gives a latte its signature smooth finish. The golden ratio here is absolutely key. And honestly, it's all about the milk. We're talking 1 part espresso to as much as 3 or even 4 parts steamed milk. That high milk content is exactly what creates the latte's famous smooth, creamy, and really gentle coffee profile.
And what does that ratio actually do to the taste? Well, it means the espresso's boldness gets totally softened, blending perfectly with all that creamy milk. It makes it way less harsh, not as bitter, and just incredibly approachable. That's exactly why the latte is the perfect gateway coffee for so many people just starting out.
So, how in the world did this drink become a global superstar? It's a great story. Let's trace the latte's journey from being a humble Italian breakfast staple all the way to a worldwide phenomenon. Okay, so the story kicks off in early 20th century Italy. But here's the thing. Cafe latte wasn't something you'd order at a cafe. No way. It was something people made right at home, just by adding milk to soften their morning espresso. The big shift happened around the middle of the century, when it landed in America. Cafes over there adapted it. They added way more milk, served it in a bigger cup, and basically created the version that would go on to conquer the world. But listen, the classic latte is just the beginning. You gotta think of it as a perfect blank canvas. From there, a whole family of delicious variations has popped up. So let's explore a few of the most popular ones. So you start with the classic, right? Then you add just a pump of vanilla syrup and boom, it transforms into this amazing fragrant treat. If you want something richer, a drizzle of caramel adds this buttery sweet kick. Of course, for all you chocolate lovers, you can't go wrong with a mocha. It's like the perfect coffee hot chocolate hybrid. And naturally, you can pour any of these over ice for a super refreshing iced latte. All right, now for the big one. The question we all have. The most common question in the coffee world, the classic showdown. Latte versus cappuccino. Let's finally settle this debate. I mean, think about it. They both have espresso, they both have steamed milk, they both have foam. So what really separates them? Well, the answer is actually simpler and way more distinct than you might think. It all comes down to one thing, the foam. That's it. A latte has that thin layer of silky microfoam that just kind of blends right into the milk. A cappuccino, on the other hand, has this thick, airy, really distinct cap of foam that sits right on top. It's a whole separate layer that you can literally scoop up with a spoon. And this table here breaks it down perfectly. So first, look at the ratio. A latte is super milk heavy, while a cappuccino is a perfect equal parts balance of espresso, milk, and foam. Now that directly changes the flavor. Lattes are much milder and creamier, while cappuccinos let more of that bold coffee taste really shine through. And the texture? A latte is smooth and liquidy. A cappuccino is thick and kind of airy. And finally, that smooth, thin foam on a latte creates the perfect canvas for art, which is exactly why you see it so much more often. Speaking of latte art, let's wrap things up by looking at this absolutely beautiful side of coffee culture, one that's so closely tied to the latte itself. So latte art is basically the technique where a really skilled barista pours that perfectly steamed microfoam into the espresso to create these intricate designs. I mean, from a simple little heart to a complex Rosetta pattern, it's just a true display of craft and amazing precision. Now, here's the thing to remember. These beautiful designs don't actually change the taste of your coffee one bit. But what they do is elevate the entire experience, right? They transform a simple drink into a small work of art and a little moment of daily delight. So there you have it. The latte, smooth, creamy, and totally milk-forward. And the cappuccino,
balanced, airy, and coffee-forward. They're two absolute classics, born from the exact same ingredients, but with completely different personalities. So now that you know the difference, the only question left is, which one is calling your name for your next coffee break?